Hello, storytellers. Keep moving. Storytelling around here. I want to talk about GMing, a Christian role-playing game, or Lord RPG. Just giving you some advice on it. This is my almost complete. The index is just a placeholder, but this is my almost complete sort of updated version of the rules. And this is the Dark Ages Kickstarter. I just rewrote all the rules, but in a almost from memory kind of a thing, and simplifying it, because the previous let me open this. The previous rules is like very patchworky because of the last 2 years. And by the way, to any Christian role players out there, anyone that wants to make a role playing game, my advice to you is no, don't do it. Use mine, okay? As a Christian, and I get it once a month. Someone saying, I've influenced them, I've inspired them, so they're gonna make their own game, which to me is a bummer. Here's why. Well, it's a bummer because there's no market for this. You have to literally create your own market. So I don't have a market for this, right? The pagan RPGs, the secular RPGs can sell to anyone. I can't. I can only sell to Christians. And then when another Christian comes along and says they got a great Christian game, so they're going to take up that market, which there isn't a market. We have to create that market. And I'm not against you doing that. I'm barely getting off the ground myself. So it just makes it tougher for both of us. Whereas I think we need to consolidate and work on something. So, but that game needs to be, to me, the essentials of that game, a Christian role-playing game, are evangelism and church planting, because that is what we should be doing as Christians. We should not be just playing sort of a token version of Christianity or a surface dressing of Christianity in a role-playing game. We should actually be in the core of it. Ergo, this game has taken me 2 years and over 100 playtesters, and I'm still almost refining it a little bit more here. So and that's full time, and I spent just $10,000 on a convention to try to take this, which I failed miserably at it. I mean, it was a wonderful experience, but I didn't get anything out of it, and deducted $10,000. And I used it partially as a vacation as well. So whatever. With my wife, that's how I convinced her to go to this convention. Anyway, so, and I'm still slogging away. I could fail completely at this, which is fine. I'm very happy in doing this. I'm very happy. I've given up everything, just so you know. I've given up 5e. I've given up potential money in Kickstarters doing just basic games that appeal to the mass market. I've given that up. I made a few 3 to 3,000 ish, 5e games, and I could have kept building on that. I might have gotten to 4, 5, 6,000, and kept going doing 5e stuff, and then jumping on all the other trains like Shadow Dark and whatever else, whatever other games are out there that I could mass appeal a product for. But I can't now. I'm doing this. I'm losing money. I'm barely making it on the Kickstarters, which is fine. I'm happy. We're not going to lose our house or anything like that. But I got to start telling people that say they got a game. I got to start telling them. If you want advice from me, the advice is don't do it. Support my game. That's my advice. I don't want to make money off of you. I just want us to all have a game. Success requires contributions from the community. Content, campaigns, and adventures. Because I can't do them all. It takes forever, and it takes a long time. Like, okay, you all think it's easy to make a game, right? So when I made this game, I spent less than a month making the game, not even full time at that point. So it's easy. Yeah, it's easy to make a game. It's easy to put it all on paper and make your rules and get it all down perfect. That's not the easy. That part's easy, actually. Making the game is easy, and making it fully fleshed out is easy. Yeah. 2 years later, I'm still working on it. So the easy part that you think is, I can do this. You're see the tree, but you don't see the forest. Right? You're seeing whatever the term is. You might see the little tree that you're working on, but it's the forest you need to create. And this has been a long, hard financial slog for me. And it may even come to an end. Like I might have to go get a real work, not just for quality of life or luxury or whatever, not because I have to. We're doing fine, but we wouldn't mind going on some luxuriant trips. So then I would have to get a job. But if we didn't go on, and by the way, my luxuriant trip would be to work for this. I would go to places like Italy, go back to England where my wife's from, and I would my luxuriant vacation would be going to churches and studying missionary stuff and getting resources. That would be the best vacation ever. The only luxury I would pay for is upgraded seats because of my size. I would want to get a business class because I've done that with the wife. She used to travel a lot, and so she had a lot of points, and we would get like business or first class sometimes. And those trips were the best. I didn't get sick, not like full on sick, but just like achy. I get a weird achy sickness if I sit in economy, or at least I have every time I've done it. It might be healthier now, but every time I go when we're in a business class or first class seats, I felt just fine, so it's kind of a huge difference for me. Anyway, so no, I don't. Next time someone tells me that I've influenced them, they're gonna make their game, I'm gonna say I'm gonna tell them no, don't do it. Because do you have 2 years of full time to work on it? Full time. Now, granted, I did 3 different games and did all the artwork and the maps and all that, but are you literally gonna make just a game with nothing and just what do you think you're going to do? Are you going to, artwork wise, graphics wise, and you're telling me you want to make a game? So no, don't make a game. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of work. You need to get artwork. You need to get better graphics than I have. And this took me 2 years to figure this out. What you see here with the backgrounds and formatting, that took me 2 years to learn all this, like as I'm working on this. Okay. And this isn't even that great, compared to many others, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so don't do it. Help me with mine. The best way you can help me is become a GM, get some players, work on it, start making some settings of your own, some cool stuff, some supplements, something like that. Anyway, join my Discord, help set up games. That's what I need. And the more you do of that, the more you go through that process, then the more I'm like, do you want to make a supplement? Do you want to make an adventure setting? Do you want to make a setting, like a unique setting in history, about church history, that's a game setting? Fantastic. But I need to know you know how to play this game or GM this game, and that you'll do it, and you've done it for a while. Like, go through some of the hard work because to me this is an open game. It's an open system for Christians for ministry, for fellowship, and then for ministry. So the only thing, like my money or financial I would want from you is for you to get others to buy the original game. You guys, if you are of the same accord as me, and I will accept Catholics and Orthodox, by the way, because the game isn't itself about legalism, like the deep theology. It's about the basic evangelism part. I am very happy with Orthodox Catholics working together with me as a Reformed Baptist, a Calvinist. I know we have differences, and they're even kind of heretical or whatever. I'm past it. I don't care anymore. I don't care about that anymore. I'll let the pastors, reverends, and priests figure that out. But the rest of us laymen, we have things to do. Okay, so if if I had to go to a Catholic church right now, I'd be fine. Like with the service. I mean, I don't particularly care for the mass service. But whatever. I'm my heart's at a Reformed Baptist. Anyway, I think that's what it is. Reformed Baptist, Calvinist. I don't know. Whatever. I'm a little bit of a black sheep at my at the Pastor John MacArthur's church, but whatever. Okay. No need to play God or Jesus and the Holy Spirit in this game. No need to. They don't. They got it. They don't need to just play. Let's just play humans. No need to have God or angels intercede. Now I do have. The nun does do the angel intercede thing, but it's a very mechanical, robotic type of angel. It's not like an angel comes down and gives them a mission or that kind of thing. It's not like that. It's just a very simple, and it's meant to be kind of mysterious, like as a bright light. They all see a bright light. She sees an angel, faints, and then that thing takes care of the baddies and then disappears. And then everyone's like, "What happened?" I think that was an angel. I don't know. The Lord has answered us. But obviously, it can fail. Yeah. I I remember a player in playtesting told me in this, and he very valid argument, but I now sort of disagree with it. But I think just the premise of me and him's understanding of it is just was wrong, even in my own. So what God does is sacred. What He does is perfect. What we do, even when God blesses us, even when God answers our prayers, what we do is screw batty, right? We mess it up. So I don't consider anything that we do as Christians, even when we get blessed by the Lord, even when we ask the Lord for blessings, to be perfect, right? So when we call down or when a nun calls down an angel, it is not a perfect outcome, even with having that angel, like as in it saves everybody. Maybe they'll still die, because when the nun did it, she didn't roll high enough on certain things, and then when she played the role of the angel that was supposed to go around fighting or whatever, it didn't roll high. To me, I don't care. Like, that's not important that it's perfect or sacred. It could even fail. So what? Maybe that angel just came down to bring everyone to heaven, because they all died. You can play it that way. So there's no need here to think about when playing this game, you're going to play it perfectly. I prefer you all playing it stupidly, mistakenly, sort of joking about how dumb you are. When I just played it last night, I really had fun with a young lady GM, and kind of playing it, play testing it, and I was a player, and I just made a lot of jokes about I want to kill everyone, murder, hobo everyone. Okay, I'm a Christian, I guess I got to do the right thing, but I still want to kill everyone if I can. That's okay. I want you all as Christians to be humble, be silly, self-deprecating when you play this game, because we are not sacred. Our faith in the Lord is sacred. How we love Jesus is sacred, and but we ourselves are fallible. So the entirety and complete instructions on how we should role play in the New Testament. So it's all about evangelism. The New Testament, it's all letters. After Acts, or even Acts is an evangelism thing, but all the letters are letters. The New Testament is basically letters, and it's letters sent to all the different churches on how to be better churches and how to be better Christians and how to evangelize and all that. So, and remember, they're arguing in the New Testament. They all had arguments with each other. The disciples had problems with each other. So that's in the Bible too. That's amazing. Mission and church planning. That's it. Okay, that's all we. I'm going to change these fonts because this is from the Christians in Space, but I shouldn't do that right now. But let me just go ahead and do it real quick, just for the fun of it. Let me get it readable at least. There we go. That one's the better one. Okay, so there's all that. This is my clearing call for contributors. So it sort of explains helping out. And I put that there so everyone can do it. This is just some basic concepts, whatever. And this is, by the way, is the more dense text, and I've decided to simplify it. And this is, I was influenced by Shadow Dark. I was looking at their formatting, or how she did it, and cleaned it up. But so I tried to do that, simplify it down. The biggest thing is the dice. I'm gonna just go through this, the game dice, and using die ranks and dice pool. So I love the system because you basically use a D20. You use your trait, which is the ability score, so D20 plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. But that's it as far as a constant number. Everything else is always going to be the die ranks. So if you have 1 die rank, you get a D4. If you have 2 die ranks, you get a D6. If you have 3 die ranks, you get a D8. If you have 4 die ranks, you get a D10. If you have 5 die ranks, you get a D12, right? This is like a skill. I have 5 die ranks in sword, so I get a D20 plus my prowess plus a D12. Okay. So these this is die ranks, right? So the die ranks can go up. Here, let me go to this little chart here. I'm going to zoom in on it, I think, just to better help you understand. The die ranks go up because you add in die ranks from all kinds of things. So I'm trying to go all the way down. Where was it? I missed it. Where'd I put it? Oh yeah, it's still here. Seriously? I don't even know where it is. Sorry, there it is. It's right there. Okay. So if you can see this chart, I'm going to zoom in on it just because I really want to explain this. Okay. So when you get die ranks, they're going to go up and up and up and up and up, right? And they're divisible by 5, groups of 5. Okay. So if you get 5 die ranks, that's a group of 5, and it equals a D12, right? So every time you have 5 die ranks, you get another D12. Okay, and then there's a remainder, and that's it. So if you have 10 die ranks, that's 2 groups of 5, which is 2 D12s. What are the die ranks? The die ranks are your skill. You get a blessing. You get a magic item, sword, a bonus sword. With 3 die ranks, you can combine all these die ranks, and that's what I love about this is that there's no limit. You don't have level limits. You don't have I'm getting too powerful limits. I mean, maybe if you get 30 die ranks, maybe, but that gets really expensive, like to get that many. So, but you can still, it's diminishing return type of thing. As you get more and more, you get a diminishing return of upgrade, but you can still do it. There's no limit, and you don't get overpowered either. So let me explain. So if you get say 3 die ranks in the sword skill, and then 2 die ranks in a blessing, and then 2 die ranks for the sword itself, and then high ground is 1 die rank. You're above the other person or whatever. The other person is wounded. No, I don't use it this way, but never mind about that. Okay, so 9 die ranks, right? Let's just say someone blesses you instead of, I think I might have said something in there, but let's just say someone said, I'm giving them 5 die ranks of blessing. They pull on the blessings because they need you to hit this guy. So 5 more is a 14. So 14 divided by 2 is 2 D12s, and the remainder is a 4. So that's a D10. Okay, right? 4 is a D10. You got to know that 1 through 5. D4, D6, D8. So D12, and a D10. Why do I do that? Because again, you can have all these die ranks. You can have all these different factors that keep adding up to help you. And you have a dice pool. Not only do we get a D20, we get a dice pool, so that's fun. It's fun to have a dice pool, but it's also fun to have a D20. Like I played Star Wars role-playing game, and it's a dice pool system. What I didn't like about it is that, well, 1, it got really unwieldy after a while because you had too many dice. But 2, you never got to see like an instant nat 20 or something. There was a couple of criticals, but they could be countered by other things. So I really missed the nat 20 roll, type of result in a game when you roll nat 20, and everyone freaks out. That I missed it because when you rolled in the Star Wars game, you look and then you basically had to stop and go, okay, I got a critical. Do I, you had to look at all the symbols and figure out which ones you got. In this, you get the nat 20, but also there's a dice pool, so you can get to look at that as well. So if you got a nat 20, you don't even care what the dice pool says. Nat 20. But then if you roll not a nat 20, there's still a dice pool there, and you can kind of like, ooh, do I get it? Did I get it? And there's even where if you roll a nat 1, if you have 14 ranks here, and you get a D12, D10, if you roll a nat 1, there's a chance you can roll a 7 on the dice pool and cancel the fumble, right? The nat 1 fumble. So that's a fun thing. That's coming to play quite a bit. And anytime you roll a 7 or above in the dice pools, you can add those like kind of exploding dice. So that's fun too. So it adds another element of fun to the rolls. So it's not just a constant number, right? In most games, you get your D20, then your ability score plus other bonuses, but that's like a plus 10, a plus 12. It's just a constant number. And to me, it's just kind of boring. It's kind of a little less, fun than the way I'm doing it now. Now this way is a little harder to initially grasp, but once you get it, it's a lot of fun. And my character is going into 3rd season now in my Christian Space game. Over 100 games right now, or I don't know, 80ish or whatever, or 7. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I could bring in a 1st level character and they would fit it right in because of this. No problem. They would still be valuable, and the creatures they go up against are kind of the same. I don't have to like create demons and demigods now for them to go up against. They just have they have a little bit better rolls, but I love the system because I don't have to continually unbalance the game. So in every other game, Shadow Dark, whatever, where they have levels from 5th to 10th level, 5th to 8th level is like, or 4th to 8th level is like the charming little space, and everyone admits that. The Shadow Dark, she admitted it. All the people that do Pathfinder, they all admit that. The 5th, and we all know this, the 5th to 8th level is like the the prime period of their character role playing, and after that it gets really unwieldy, and it gets kind of like nobody wants to play anymore because it's just too much overly powerful stuff going on. And but in my game right now, they've been playing 80 episodes, a year and a half or so. They still want to keep playing the same characters, and I can bring in a new player. They would be part of the, they got to work, they'll be they'll have a little bit of a hard time, but they still have, they can still be part of the game and not get blown away by a magic fireball merely because the villain just looked at them, or whatever. So, that's what's wonderful about this. And it's really, without me even realizing it too, it really does work for a Christian role-playing game, because we believe in life. We believe in the same characters struggling for years to, accomplish something. And then other characters coming in and helping them, and young people with the old people working together, blah, blah, blah. And there's no demigod status or nothing. You're still fallible. You're still weak. You still can get beat and killed. And even after, 2 or 3 seasons of playing the same character, we believe in life. So we believe that, we want to keep the same character. We don't want to just get rid of him and start a new character, or have a gauntlet of people dying. We want to actually have this character live. And it's dangerous. I have the game where it's very lethal and dangerous. So that's how die ranks work. And the dice pool, that's what it is. The D12, D10 or whatever, that's your dice pool. And that comes out of the die ranks. So here's an example here. If you have a sword, that's 4 die ranks, like it's +4 or whatever. Someone blesses you 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Sword skill is 4. And then he has a knightly sword that has a 2 die rank to it, like a +2 sword. And a bless 3. So that equals 9 die ranks right here. Divided by 5 is 1 remainder 4, or a D12 and a D10. So the knight would roll a D20 plus his 4 for his prowess, and then the D12, D10, and keep the highest. Okay, to beat the whatever. Here's one. There's preaching. Preach 5 skill. Someone, or maybe he blesses himself 5, or none next to him blesses him 5, and he's at a church podium. And I could have done some more die ranks too. I could have done, and that equals 11 die ranks. Oops, what am I doing here? That equals 11 die ranks, and or 11 here divided by 5 is 2 remainder 1. So 2 remainder 1. So 2 D12s and a D4. So they get to roll D20 plus their spirit plus D12, D12, D4. And it could explode. If they roll a 7 or above, it could explode on any of the die, and then keep the highest as well. So there's that. Now, think about this too. Here's the freedom of using die ranks. So this preacher is going to preach 5, bless 5, church podium 1. So he's in a church. The podium is amazing. So that gives you a +1 to your rank. And then he could say, I've got this amazing, Psalms book, I want to use. Oh, what is that? It's 2 die ranks. Okay, you can pull that out. Does the church look great? Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. I'm going to give you 2 die ranks for that, because it's a beautiful setting and everyone's there. It's calm and quiet. They all know you. A lot of them do. And, the ones you're trying to preach to are in the middle. Oh, does that help me? You know what? I'm going to give you a couple ranks for that. You can keep going with the bonuses, and it doesn't kill the GM. It doesn't overpower the person, but it helps describe the situation as well as you work out die ranks, right? I just described it with all these die ranks. Oh, the setting, the people, oh, this and that. You know what? Get thrown out die ranks. It's the same. Now, how do you decide the difficulty number? Okay, that's another good question. Great question. Thank you for that question. How do you determine the difficulty? Okay, 12 is the default. You could just do 12 if you think it's simple, straightforward. He's preaching to someone in front of him. They don't have any. They're a minion, like a regular person, a peasant, or farmer passing by. You could just do 12, right? Okay. What if they're? Let me go with physical stuff real quick, and then I'll do the spiritual, physical. So in combat, the to hit somebody is their defense, right? Which is just the 12 plus their awareness, plus if they have a shield or a big helmet. And as you can see, I wear helmets. Right there's my main helmet right there. Oh yeah. So I consider helmets to be like shields. The way when I'm fighting in medieval armor combat, my helmet feels like a shield. It doesn't feel like armor to me. It just, I don't know. It feels like, because it's so big and heavy. When someone hits me, I don't care if they hit my helmet, and I want them to. It's very protective. So I consider it a shield. So anyway, Defense is awareness plus your shield plus your helmet, and if you have one, but either of those, I think that's it. And if you get cover or whatever, but that's your defense. Okay, so that's what it takes to hit someone. Now, after you hit them, you do damage, and then they have an armor save that reduces the damage. Like chainmail is a D6. So if you take D8, D10, D12, whatever worth of damage, you can roll your D6 and subtract it from that roll. So there's that. But treacherous terrain and extreme treacherous terrain are the other two options. So there's like three options to decide on the difficulty of something in a combat situation. Treacherous terrain is very simple. You just take the armor save of the individual and roll it and add it to 12. That expedites the process of whatever they want to do, and it really does now make armor matter in being helping you, but also hindering you physically, because armor is very difficult to move around in. Trust me, I know. I'm going to be putting on some today in my little workout, and I'm going to be exhausted, and it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough workout today, but it's just, I'm not hitting anyone. I'm just working on the pill, but it's full plate. So I'm at minus D10, I'm D12. It's a really good full plate. D12, minus D12, or I'll roll a D12, add it to a 12. And that'll be my difficulty for today, and it's on flat ground. Now, if I was going to start jumping up and around on the planters and the pots and stuff, I would move on to the extreme treacherous terrain. Although I probably wouldn't use that. Let's just say what extreme treacherous terrain is. Same thing. I use the armor. So, but now you have to, let's say I'm in full plate. I'll use my example of my armor. Full plate, 5 die ranks. That's 5, right? So extreme treacherous terrain is you saying, okay, what you want to do is really extreme. We got to add more die ranks to that difficulty. Okay, so all you're doing as a GM is, so you got their armor save, and then you describe what it is that they're trying to do. So if I'm in my full plate and it's extreme treacherous terrain, I'm going to say I want to climb that wall in my full plate, and it's stormy, rainy, whatever, and it's flooding down water. I got to get up there, climb that cliff of flooding water in a storm. So everything I just described there is another die rank. So flooding, wet, climbing a wall. I could even say it's a really high wall, so make it 2 ranks. You know what I mean? So that's 4 more ranks. Let's just say that 4 more ranks plus the 5 from the armor save is 9 die ranks. So I can roll that, pick the highest number. It's a D12 and a D10. 5 for the armor save, which is a D12, and then the last 4 that I described is another D10. I roll and pick the highest number and add that to 12. That's the difficulty of me trying. Then I got to roll and climb up this thing. Okay. That's how you do that. And that could explode too, right? I could roll a 7 and an 8, and that's 15 added to 12. Dang. Now, this is another in-depth part of this that's really cool. You can also do die rank result, which you see here next. This is optional as well. You could say you can do a fail, succeed type of thing, and then come up with some sort of fail reason, or you can use the die rank result, fail or succeed. What does that mean? Okay, what do they fail by or succeed by? Let's just say, for simplicity, they fail by 10 or succeed by 10. So whatever number I said that they had to beat, let's say 12, and they rolled a 22, or they rolled a 2 total, so let's say they succeed by 10. Generally, if they succeed by 10 and it's just climbing up, if they succeed by 10, you half that to 5 die ranks. So they get a 5 die rank bonus. But it's temporary. It's like just for that next round, just for so that's a D12. So they got up that cliff or whatever they were going to do. They're at the top. All right, I look around. Okay, you're gonna look around because there's what's going on here. Okay, you get that extra D12 in your perception roll, your search, whatever. So give them that. Or I attack the bad guy that's right there. You get an extra D12 because you got up there, you were ready, and you can add that then to their 5 die ranks to their attack. Okay, so that's what you can do with that. Or I'm going to help the next person up. Okay, you can use that 5 die ranks to add to the next person climbing up. Okay, so you can do that. If they fail by 10, that's 5 die ranks. Half by 5 die ranks. You could roll it and say this is how you. It takes you a long time to get up, and you take this much in vitality drain. You could roll that, right? And energy. They do get up there, but actually no, they don't get up there because if you fail by 10, that's a lot. So they don't. Not only do they not get up there, they drop back down or they fall back down, and they roll a D12 and they take 6 vitality drain. They're exhausted. That's what you can do with that. Now, the first 5 die ranks of failure is I would do vitality drain on somebody. It's for physical stuff. If it goes beyond that, if it goes, let's say they rolled and failed by 14, because I could have made this an 18 roll, and they only rolled a 4, so they failed by 14. Half of that is 7. So the first 5 is a D12. Roll that for vitality drain. Then the D6 after that is they damage something or they get a minor pain. So they sprain their ankle. Not permanent because they didn't roll a nat 1. So they're at minus 2 die ranks, sprained ankle for a little while, until they can walk it off. So if someone's attacking them right then, they're in trouble. Or they got a sprain. So that's how. Let me see. There was actually a list here which order I do it in. I think I put it here somewhere. I did put it here somewhere. Where did I put it? Boy, I should know. I wrote this. Okay, the following. No, that's not it. Oh my gosh, okay, right here. Scarier. I need to put this up above actually. The first 5 die ranks of failure is a damage. The second 5 die ranks is the temporary pain. The third 5 die ranks is grievous wound, so it's that bad, even though you didn't roll a nat 1. And grievous wounds, and they can transfer that to armor damage if they want. If it goes to 5, the fourth group of 5 die ranks, which is you'd have to fail by 40 points, which is probably impossible. Destroy something awesome of theirs. It's a really bad roll. Which I don't even know how they could roll that. I'd have to think about that. Well, if you're failed by 20, half of that is 10. No, so you got to fail by 40. I don't know if you can fail by 40. But all right, let me make a note here and think about that. And I also need to put this up somewhere else. So let me DR fail by 40 to get 20 die ranks. Okay. Just want to make a note there as I'm doing my proofreading. Need to put it in the big bold. See? So these are the little things over the 20 years that I have been nuancing and figuring out. I'm really glad. I'm really happy. I really haven't changed the rules much, but I've had to extrapolate out on them, clarify them, smooth them out, kind of a thing. And that's taken 2 years. The die ranks have always been there, but I've never, when the character started getting into the dice pool thing, I didn't do that yet. That took me gameplay. I didn't even think about it. It's weird. Then I had to figure that out, and then the die rank. Okay, so the die rank result. Let me go back to die rank results. The reason I love die rank results as a GM, and you need to understand it if you want to be a really good GM, like long-term campaign type of GM, is it really helps me quickly determine the amount of success or failure they have and what is the result of that. This applies to even like prayer is my best example. If they pray and they succeed by their prayer roll, 12 being the default, I could change it based on the situation. Like for instance, if they're praying to go fight someone, recently someone did do this. They do this. They're going to go to this temple and confront the baddies. But I said, well, you're in a dark cave, so that's a 1 die rank penalty. You're it's cold and clammy, so 2. So 2 die ranks. I just said 2 die ranks. So I rolled a d6 and add that to 12. So the person praying had to roll above that number to then get a die rank result. And what's the die rank result for prayer? If let's just say they succeeded really well, they rolled 9 above the number I told them, the difficulty number. So 9 above is half of that is 4, right? Round down. 4 die ranks. So what is 4 die ranks? So they get 4 inspired die that they can now split up amongst the party. So everybody can get like 1 die rank, and then they can use that. It's an inspired die to add to 1 roll. It's an expense. But so they can get prayer. They can do cooking. Cooking does the same thing. If you cook really well, you roll above a certain number that I determined. Generally 12 for cooking, but if they don't have cooking gear, I'm going to add a die rank difficulty for that. If they don't have, blah blah blah. But if they add sausage, if they have salt, that's their die rank on their cooking skill. See, and you get that number. And then when they do, everyone gets a great meal. And let's say they get 4 die ranks, 6 die rank result success. They can now add that as an inspired die for the players, because they had a good meal. Okay, stuff like that. So there's stuff like that that's really fun to do. And these are right here on the right here is examples of using the die rank results, dispersing die ranks. Okay, determining difficulty. I do have the treacherous terrain, but I might need to describe non-terrain stuff like praying and stuff. Let me just make a note of that. I just want to make just to make sure I do that somewhere. And I want this. I wouldn't mind this here results going up to this section because I describe it here. I'm trying to decide. Fail by list below here. Below put here. And is there a non-terrain determine difficulty needed here? See, all kinds of little nuances like this when making your game book or your rules. And so that's why I say don't do it. It's too much work. It takes too long. Help me with mine. I need the help. I need contributors. Okay, and GMs. I especially need GMs to start playing it and just knowing the game so that they can kind of help me start refining it even more. Okay, so whatever little nuances or problems you have. One thing I noticed in a recent game was making villains. To make a villain, the first thing you want to do, I even have down here in the Grand Minister's Guide, the how to make characters, the basic character. This is Dark Ages, and this I have like something like this. I think in APOC and sci-fi too. I'll have to go look, whatever. But the main thing is their conversion level. Where is their conversion level? Where is it? Where'd I put it? Boy, I know it's here somewhere. I just can't remember where I put it. I've been staring at this thing forever. Here, local disposition. The conversion level. I don't know if I should reorder it to be above all the other. But this is really awesome for me. I really find this to be the best thing for your character motivation in a Christian game. And this is like true to life, in my opinion. Okay. So you roll a d8, and for the what you want the NPCs, the encounters that they have to have as far as their disposition, right? So if I roll a 1, they're violently evil. They will just immediately attack. Now, if you have someone in town that's violently evil and just immediately attack, they won't obviously immediately attack, but they will seek a way to. They will be mean, gruff, and then when they have the opportunity to take out your Christians somewhere down the line, an ambush, whatever, they will immediately start planning that out, like threatening them and stuff. So whatever you can do to push a threatening demeanor, and they will resort to violence if they have to. They will try to get them to resort to violence so they can immediately start killing them, kind of thing. So yeah, you can make baddies even in town be really bad if they can get away with the kind of a thing. They're think of really bad criminals that are always threatening people and stuff. Manipulative evil is obviously more like a businessy trope I'm using. Evil as chaff is they're a little wanton in their evil. They're not like drug users and stuff like. I'm just kind of using modern tropes to. They're evil, but they're very chaotic in their evil. Neutral evil is they're someone that's just cold and mean and will do stuff. Okay, so you can roll to determine that. Now it could be a D8. If they're part of the bad guys, part of the cult, I would roll 2 D8s and pick the lowest. So there's a rare chance that they could actually be guilt-ridden. All right, and these top numbers here. And you've got to adjust the format of the conversion level based on your setting as well. Like if they're sinners in the middle here, or let's say here number 8 Christian. Well, if you're in an APOC game and there's no Christianity, so they wouldn't be Christian, but they would be like immediately, as soon as they heard someone talking about something, they would immediately know that this must be something true here. Now, these levels here can change based on the person's preaching or evangelism to them, right? So if they preach to them and they have, let's say, a neutral evil 4 plus 2 die rank resist, right? So they get a resist. They get their spirit plus these 2 die ranks at least. You roll that and add it to a 12. That's the number that the preacher has to beat this. Now, two things you could do here. You could do a die rank result so that every die rank is one up from here, right? Or down. You could do it that way. Or you could just do fail, succeed. And it's really based on you and the setting. If they succeed, they just go up one to sinners, right? You could do it that way. Every time they succeed, they go up one. If they fail, they either stay at the same one or go down, depending on how close it is. That's another way you could do it. You could do either way. That's up to you. It's up to the setting. You know, you just as a GM need to decide that. I know I'm making it hard on you, but if they roll really high, you know, you probably should do die rank result. Let them have it. Or if they roll really low, you should do die rank result, and they go down to violent evil. Now, if someone is neutrally evil or whatever number you roll, they should always sort of go back to that. You know, if the Christian leaves, or if the situation goes back to normal, like if a Christian could try to convert them and they went to violently evil, right? Then that's just for them to like to fight and kick and throw things at the Christian. Get the heck out of here! I'm going to kill you. You know, yeah. And violent evil doesn't mean they're necessarily going to kill you. But they're going to use violence to get rid of you. If you leave, then they'll let you go. But then they'll go back to neutral evil. However, they will probably be a little bit violent towards the Christians anyway. But you know what I mean? You kind of do that kind of thing. And obviously they need to go to church often so that their neutral evil tendencies will always be up here at Christian. You know what I mean? That's kind of like our nature, or our human nature. Anyway, so this is a great tool for you. So if you don't know how the baddies are going to react, you can use this little table here and roll. And this table I kind of have in different spots in all the different rule books, so it's handy wherever. And I use it. I love it. I love rolling this. You know, I roll out the people here that you encounter up above here. I'm trying to get to where's the people? Oops, I went too far. People right here. So I roll out the social standing, slave to apprentice to noble, their name, and then their profession list, whatever it is, and then I roll their conversion. Like what are they? That's like an NPC, or people on the road, or people in the town. And then in the town here, these are different buildings you can have in the town. I roll that, but then I'll get an owner or proprietor of that place, and I'll roll them. Their disposition. Are they evil? Are they, witches? You can have witches. I would roll 2d8, pick the lowest. But if you have a witch hut, they could literally be a Christian. They just don't know it yet, because they just haven't heard the gospel. But they do all these Christian things. Because there's a famous, in the hagiographies, there is a famous magician in Greek times who converted to Christianity. He was very famous as a magician, and he converted to Christianity. So that's pretty fascinating. I mean, so you could have it. I'm just doing a little formatting here. Oop. What'd I do? See? All these things you got to learn and figure out. See? It's not easy. Not easy, man. Okay. Yeah, and then there's these little locations you can roll up, like outside the town. And again, you can roll a conversion level. What are they? Are they peaceful? Are they violent? Oh, peaceful. Whatever. Here's some rolls. Okay, so I'm just moving along quickly. So that's a way to help you to create the motivations of the area. And I've now included a lot of lists you can go through to create a setting. And feel free to use what you want. Use it as a guide. Roll here, roll there. Move on to the next one. If you like it, if it's too difficult, challenge yourself. But if it's too much, if it doesn't feel right, don't use it. But challenge yourself. And so yeah, I just give you a lot of stuff here to work with. You really should read through it, kind of get it. Ooh, this is new. This is new. Magic attacks. I now have the wizard, potentially a wizard class in here. Yes, these are all magical wizard attacks. Fireball. Yep, got fireball. How does that work? So I kind of break it down a little bit. But in essence, what it is alchemy, right? Alchemy and tricks. The magician uses tricks. All these things are sort of meant to like replicate real life stuff. Blazing pig, right? Destroy stone. How do they just do that? Engineer type stuff. Poisonous cloud. That's not easy enough. Smoke. Blinding light. Okay, that's a flashbang. Illusion of the gods. They can do some illusions. Signs of the gods. Magic tricks. Piercing. So these are kind of meant to be things that oil, tar, and fire. So these are main things that like the real wizard, the real magician kind of thing. But I also implore that, for a GM, if a character does want to delve into this, and you should have them encounter an NPC that does it first. So you should, as a GM, should study this. Have this be a villain who does all this stuff on them, and then they want to learn how to use it. But in that regard, then, just like in history, if they have a Christian missionary using fireball, have fun with that. People are going to worship him for the fire, not for his faith in Christ. So there's that story aspect that you got to figure out. If he defeats pagans with using fireball, then they're gonna know you're the fire god. You're worship a fire god or whatever. So there's that aspect of it. I still have to proofread and go through this again, but and lots of fun new creatures. Also, there's all kinds of pagans in here. Like, you don't have orcs and goblins and elves, but we do. We just have to be more creative in our look at it. This is a wood elf. See. They all live in the woods. They all look really creepy and hide in the woods and are very xenophobic or whatever. Wanting to sacrifice. So you do have orcs and elves in this, but you have to be creative in your GMing of it. We have giants too. We can have ogres and giants. We can have dragons. Look, I have these prehistoric beasts. Look, here's my little demons, troglodytes, which are cave feral simians or whatever, gorillas. I'm also using a lot of I really got a big influence from the King Kong, the 1995 or 2005 King Kong, Peter Jackson's. How they're using a bunch of prehistoric creatures, and just giant versions of them. So that I think that's really cool. We're missing out on that kind of aspect of it. I'm trying to move this thing here, make it look big giant bloodworms, and so that's what we're kind of missing out on that when we're. Sorry, I'm messing around with the formatting now. Giant, bugs and scorpions and arachnids based on fossil records and stuff like that. This is a little extravagant, but dinosaurs. Where's the actual dragons? So we have actual dragons in this game, and I want kids to learn about actual dragons. Where are they? Why don't I see them? Where did I put them? Oh, here. Velociraptor, T-Rex, horned dragoon, So we can have dragons, and they're dangerous. I mean, because we turn everything into superheroes, it feels like you need this big spectacular red dragon of all-powerful Tiamat thing. But in truth, a bear is freaking dangerous. A bear attacking you is gonna freaking kill you if you're not ready. If you're not prepared, ready, whatever. So it's gonna maul you to death. So we need to get back to that. Danger is danger, and I make this really dangerous and fun though, but there's potential to save you, when you get really badly wounded and stuff. And I also am including demons because it's funny, Christians, actually demons are for realsies to us. I do a bit of a crazy stuff here, but I'm considering this prehistoric, something you maybe found in the fossil record. Remember, over 90% of creatures went extinct before we even came along, supposedly. Which it's the flood that did not. Anyway, so I'm doing, and there's obviously Siamese twins is a real thing. So I figured there would be a giant with two heads and an end. And I would assume they would be very angry, crazy, and murderous and cannibalistic, maybe, because they will be ostracized, whatever. So I am doing demons. There's a potential for demons, and you can do all kinds of demons and stuff. And yeah, I want demon. We believe in demons. Not obviously we don't really believe in this kind of demons, but that one demon described in the we are Legion, I am Legion, or whatever, the big fat one that's in the graveyard, in the New Testament. I mean, that was like a Hulk, right? This Roman soldiers couldn't. They let him alone. That's how, because they just couldn't beat him. And so to think that Roman soldiers can't beat someone means that thing was pretty powerful. So. And he was possessed. And that was, so anyway, these are demons that, so you can push it to that level, which I think is okay. But these demons are obviously going to be summoned by pagan cults, right? They're summoned by human cults that want whatever. All right. So that's my Dark Ages game. We have a bunch of stuff in here. I'm just trucking along. It's almost done. I do need to spend a week or two proofreading it before I release it as a PDF, and then getting it out there. And I got to keep going. Keep going with it. much as I can. I think that's it. I think that's it for now. I'm gonna get to work. I gotta. What am I working on? Oh yeah, I'm drawing some more just post-apocalyptic creatures and mutants for sci-fi and APOC. Just because I feel like I'm sort of taking a little. I'm working, but I'm taking a little break from this before I start proofreading it. Just to clear my mind of it to then start proofreading it. But of course, I delved into it just now. But whatever. All right, so that's it for me on this. Thanks a lot if you're listening or whatever. So the game of life, everybody, roll holy dice. Gotta keep going.